Picking up a guitar for the first time? Well, don't fret. Now you'll be strumming your way to guitar success in no time. And this daily series of beginner guitar lessons teaches you a new chord every day. Now you'll have easy to follow lessons, there's a basic strumming pattern and even simpler options of playing the chord if your fingers get a little bit tangled. So there's no experience needed, just a desire to learn to play the guitar. So we're looking at the D minor chord today. Now minor chords are those sad chords. And if you look at the diagram, you'll see that you need 3 fingers. You're going to need your 4th finger, whoops, 2nd finger and 1st finger. So let's start with the 4th finger. And the 4th finger goes on the 3rd fret. Now the frets are the metal bars going across the guitar. 3rd fret of the B string. The B string is this one here, the 2nd string. Now your 2nd finger is going to go on the 2nd fret of the G string, the 3rd string. And the 1st finger, your 1st finger, is going to go on the 1st fret of the high E string, the 1st string, the thinnest string. And it's a 4-string chord, so what you're going to do is play just the top 4 strings, just those 4 strings, and you can hear that nice minor sound, that sad sound. And if you look at the diagram, you'll see that there is an X over the low E string and the A string. Basically that means don't play those 2 strings. And in order to not play those strings, what you want to do is try and get your thumb around here. So this part of the thumb, that little crease there, that bendy part there, is actually on that part of the guitar here, this kind of the beginning of the flat part of the fretboard. And it's bending over and just touching these 2 strings here. And as I say, it's just touching, it's not pushing down, it's not playing the strings, it's just touching in order to give you a nice muffled, muted sound so that you can't hear it as the strings ring out. Now an alternative way to play this, if you find this a little difficult, is to use your 3rd finger here. As I said, you've got this 3rd finger now on the 3rd fret of the B string. Now the reason why I prefer using my little finger is because, well, to be honest, this finger is a little bit chubby, it's a little bit fleshy, a little bit podgy, and what often happens is that if I'm not careful, if I'm not arching the finger enough, it often dampens or makes this 1st string buzz, right? And that's if I'm not being careful. So I am really kind of focusing right now to make sure that I'm getting it right. But with this finger here, because it's smaller, it's not as chubby, it doesn't have the same problem. I find it a lot easier to arch that finger. And you know, you see that arch there. I think that's a really good way to have this chord, to use that finger on this chord. And whether you use this version with the 3rd finger or with the 4th finger, you want to make sure though that the strings ring out nicely. And a simple strumming pattern that you can use, and I always recommend it, is to just play downstrokes, because forming new guitar chords is pretty difficult when you're starting out, because you need time to develop the muscle memory. And that's what will happen if you practice every day. You'll develop a good bit of muscle memory. So when you're strumming, keep it simple, just play downstrokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so as I say, whether you use the 3rd finger or the 4th finger, The sound is obviously the same. But you know, play whichever one you feel comfortable with. Now, why don't you check out these other videos in this A Chord a Day series. And thank you so much for joining me today. Happy strumming.